How do I back up my WordPress site? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. Today's video is actually a move from my Ask Leo on Business site. It needs a bit of updating, so I thought I would bring it over here and share it with all of you. WordPress powers something like 20 to 30% of the internet. In other words, all of the sites that you visit, a good chance that, 1 out of 5 of them are powered by WordPress. Certainly that's true for Ask Leo. Ask Leo is a WordPress-based site. As a result, my thoughts about backing up and websites have some very specific answers when it comes to backing up your website if it's running in WordPress. If you've got a business, if you've got a personal blog, if you've got anything at all important online, this is something that's really, really important to keep in mind. I want to be clear. The goal here of backing up your website is, once again, to handle disaster. So, for example, if your web host goes away, don't laugh. It has happened. I have had to recover for people whose web host went away without warning. Ideally, you would be able to reconstruct your website within a day or two at a different host and not have lost more than maybe a day or two worth of comments or updates. In other words, you want to have a backup copy of your website that you can restore. Now, the approach that I recommend is not a free one, but it is the approach that I use, and I recommend it strongly for a couple of reasons. It's Backup Buddy. It's a WordPress plugin, and it actually handles backing up very, very well. It will back up your entire site. It gives you the option of storing those backups automatically to a different location. Your own Dropbox, your own Amazon S3, your own Google Drive, whatever. They also include their own cloud storage specifically for this purpose called Stash. I happen to use Google Drive. So what that means is that every night, my website gets backed up and the backup appears automatically in my Google Drive. That is awesome. And it's for more than just backing up the website. Like I said, when it comes time to restore the website, well, with Backup Buddy, it's a very simple operation. You upload the backup, you run a script that the backup includes or provides, and within a little bit of time, your website is back. You've gone in and made whatever other DNS changes to point at your new host, but the actual mechanics of putting all the files and folders and WordPress back in place is handled automatically by Backup Buddy. But it's also good for other things. For example, the Backup Buddy backup is really just a huge zip file of everything in your WordPress installation, including everything you've uploaded. So if you've uploaded a document or a picture or something else, or you don't know where that plugin came from or whatever, you on your PC or anywhere else can examine the contents of that zip file, can extract the information that you care about, that you know is part of your website, and do whatever you need to do with it. I've done this multiple times, usually with images, usually with things that I've uploaded to a website and then at least lost track of. I'm sure I have it elsewhere on my machine because I'm so horribly backed up, but it's sometimes just easier to go to the backup of the website and extract the individual file. So you've got two things so far that Backup Buddy does for you. It backs up your entire website, allows you to restore it completely, and allows you to access individual files from the backup copy. There's one more thing that I've used it for as well. And honestly, this feature alone, when you encounter it, is one of those things that makes you do a forehead slap because it is such a powerful feature, and that is change your domain. Let's say someday I want to change from askleo.com to some other domain that I own. Let's say that I finally decide to pack it all in and I'm going to make it leosanswers.notenboom.org or something, right? Some other domain that I own. Backup Buddy, at the time you do a restore, will let you specify what the new domain should be, which means that once you restore to this different domain, it all just works. All of the links, all of the references, they all just work. It is a way to clone a website to a completely different domain along the way. So, backing up, it is something that I strongly recommend you do, and Backup Buddy is exactly how I recommend you do it for your WordPress site. Now, there is something in WordPress called export. I want to be very clear about that. Export is kind of nice, and you can export some things with it. You can back up some things with it, but it does not include everything. The export function is a fine way to make an additional copy of your content. It's perhaps a way to literally export your content to some other platform or to some other form if you need it. However, it's very important to realize what the export function does not contain. It does not contain WordPress. All of your themes, all of your plugins, all of WordPress itself are not included in this backup. And therefore, it is not a simple restore to a replacement host or a replacement site. And the other temptation, of course, is to rely on your host for backing up. The statement that I've made repeatedly about relying on any of your online providers is that the backups that they put into place are normally for their protection, not yours. In that worst case scenario where the provider goes away completely, not only have they taken your website down, but they've taken all their backups with them. Some do provide some level of WordPress level backup. And that's great when they do, but you need to ensure it is what you need, that you could in fact restore at a different host. My preference is that you take control with a plugin like Backup Buddy and use it to back up your site and know that you can restore it or have someone restore it completely somewhere else. For links, for updates, for comments and more, visit askleo.com/129947. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is askleo.com.